In today's YouTube video, I'm giving you guys my top 5 best loadouts you guys should be using here in Modern Warfare 3. If y'all enjoy, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe with notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. All right, so the first gun we're taking a look at here today is going to be the Rival 9, aka the CX9. This thing is absolutely insane, and this is a super high mobility build for it, so let's get into it. So first attachment here is going to be the Rival-38 Fire Starter Barrel. This is going to give that increase in aim down sight speed, movement speed, sprint to fire speed, and of course sprint speed, making you super fast. In this game in particular, you don't have to worry about the recoil as much because everything is very, very easy to be able to control in comparison to Modern Warfare 2/Warzone 2. You can build out something to be super high mobility and have no issues at all. All right, next up, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to run the X10 TX-12 hand stop. This can help us out aim down sight speed, vertical recoil, and of course sprint to fire speed and gun kick recoil control. This is definitely something that you guys want to be able to run on here. It's really going to help you out, stabilize the gun out just a little bit while simultaneously making you faster, which is a really great thing. Now we're gonna go down in here. We're gonna run the 40 round mag, so I don't really feel like you need to run the 50 round drum. You could probably get away with it realistically because this thing is so fast and mobile as is, but the 40 round drum works out perfectly fine. It's kind of like the MP5 from Warzone right now, or Modern Warfare 2. I just believe you don't really need to run a 50 round drum. The 40 works out great. Now we're gonna go up in here and we're gonna run the Sapphire-12 laser. This is just because we don't have a ton of other options that are gonna speed the gun up here without kind of slowing it down, and this is what's gonna help us out here. So ADS speed while jumping, hip fire accuracy while jumping, and sprint to fire speed. So I mean, you're just fully taken care of when you're moving around here with this attachment on this gun. Now we're gonna go on back here. We're actually, for our final attachment here out of this, that's gonna be the MTZ stockless adapter. This is basically the no stock attachment, fully maxing out our mobility. You guys can see the pros got the double green arrows. We don't have to worry about those cons because, like I said, gun kick control is not something we're worried about here with this like game pretty much in general. So this is my full build here for this. You guys should definitely try this out. Next up, we have to take a look at the Striker, aka the UMP. This thing is just incredible in this game, and it's actually a super hard hitting SMG. I mean, it's almost a little bit too hard hitting, but we're gonna get into the setup here for it. So first attachments can be the monolithic suppressor. You're gonna be undetectable by the radar, which is huge because in this game, unlike once previously, you actually do show up on the radar when you have an unsuppressed gun. So that is something to be able to consider when you're building out your guns, that you will be on the radar if you don't have a suppressor. So there's that, and it also helps us out with that recoil control, which is really good. Now we're gonna go down here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run the XRK Edge hand stop. Basically, for whatever reason, this likes to mess up and say something different up top. I have to scroll over and go back, but basically what this does is aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed, while just not really messing with our overall recoil control at all, which is fantastic. So that's why we have this on there. We're gonna skip the ammunition, the magazine, go straight back here for the Socken ZX grip, but increase in gun kick control, firing, aiming, stability, and of course recoil control. This gun likes to kick a little bit, so this will definitely help us out right there. Now we're gonna go on back here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run the Lockman MK light stock for the increase in movement speed and sprint speed. It's also kind of nice right now in the beta that we don't have to tune anything. I do believe tuning is going to be in the final game just because we have tuning for all the other stuff, and of course the Modern Warfare 2 guns are going to be available to use in Modern Warfare 3 and launch, so I assume there will be tuning for all these, but as of right now we don't have to tune. And then lastly, we happen to have the pretty much the MK.23 reflector, or you guys could run something like the Slate reflector if you really want to. Basically, this kind of reminds me, this is like almost the identical version of what was in Vanguard. I mean, Sledgehammer Games did make this game, they did make Vanguard, so kind of is pretty similar. But the Slate reflector or the MK.23, it is up to you guys, but this is my full build here for the Striker. It is really good. All right, now we're taking a look here at the MTZ. So this is an assault rifle that is very high firing, and it's actually incredibly easy to be able to use. Once you have the correct build for it, it feels like it kind of doesn't want to pull away from you at all. This thing is an absolute laser beam, and it almost feels like you can overcorrect while using this gun because it's got virtually no recoil. Sometimes it's harder to control guns that have no recoil than it is guns that have recoil because you're so used to compensating, but in this game, it's almost kind of like the opposite. You don't have to compensate much at all. Anyways, first attachment in here, as you can see, it kind of likes to mess up. We have the ELR Blackfire compensator for that recoil control and gun kick control. This is a really solid attachment, and I definitely recommend you guys run this. If you want to run something that's better for staying off the radar, you guys could probably go for one of these two here, and you're not going to notice too much of a difference, though this will make it much more of a laser beam than it would be otherwise. Now we're upward to go in here, and we're going to throw on the MTZ Cinch Pro barrel. I'm just kind of scrolling over here to make sure I have all the right attributes, but aiming idle stability, bullet velocity and range, and of course firing aiming stability, really great stuff in here. And we don't have access to some of these different ones, or if you do, that's great, but this is not level up enough for me to be able to have those. This is what I got right now, and this thing has been an absolute beam for me. Now I'm going to go down here and run the Chook Angled Grip AC. Now I'm going to go down here, run the Chook Angled Grip for that horizontal recoil control, aim walking speed, aiming idle sway, and of course gun kick control. This is fantastic right here. Definitely recommend this. We're actually going to skip the magazine and go straight on back here for a stock, and we're going to go throw on this assault stock right here for recoil control and gun kick control. I was really just trying to balance this gun out here because I was like, man, like this is actually a good gun, but it was just kind of tough to be able to use otherwise when, you know, it just felt like it was slightly pulling away from me. So I really tried to correct all that. And lastly, we happen to have this slate reflector in here, which you guys could, like I said, switches out for something like this if you really want to, or just pretty much any of these other sites if you want to go down that route. It's not going to be make or break on the build, but it is up to you guys. This is my full build here for the MTZ. Next up, we're going to be taking a look here at the AMR9. I know it's kind of covered up by my face cam there a little bit, but the AMR9 is incredible. This is a really solid SMG that no matter how you build it out, you're not going to get recoil from this gun. It's actually kind of insane. So let's get here, break it all down for you guys, because this is a super fast build I got for you. So first thing is going to be the AMR9 Commando Pro barrel. This is going to be straight mobility, as you guys can see here by these pros. I mean, you don't got to worry about basically none of these cons because it just genuinely does not matter. Now we're going to go in here, and we're also going to run that Sapphire 12 laser. This pretty much does pretty similar stuff as what it did for the Rival 9. So ADS, speed while jumping, hit bar accuracy while jumping, and sprint to fire speed. I mean, of course, we're trying to be super aggro with this setup, so that's why we have that on there. We're gonna go down here, run the 50 round drum. I mean, you could run a 100 round drum if you really want to. That'd be kind of OD in my opinion, but 50 rounds I feel like is more than enough when you're trying to rush around with an SMG, and especially in multiplayer. I don't feel like you need 100. That's just kind of nuts. Like we had that on the Kilo 141 back in Modern Warfare 2019. Never really needed it, to be honest with you, but it was always there as an option. Now we're gonna go in here, run the Phantom Grip for sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. This just pretty much makes it so we're more agile, more mobile, which is what we really want. I mean, some of these other ones are like not bad, like tax, stance, spread, and sprint to fire speed, but I just like the Phantom Grip. I think it's better. And last but definitely not least, we have the TA Venom stock, aka gun kick control, recoil control, movement speed, and sprint speed. I wanted something that was going to help me move around while also not like screwing out my gun, and this actually really helps out here. So definitely go ahead and run this. This is a fantastic stock attachment, and that's my full build there for the AMR9. And I could not make a top 5 without telling you guys about the MCW, aka the ACR, which is undoubtedly probably the best gun in the entirety of Modern Warfare 3 right now. This ACR is amazing, and you guys definitely need to be using it. So let's get your breakout dial down for you guys. First attachment is going to be the VT-7 Spitfire suppressor. Basically, it just means that you're undetectable by radar. We don't really care about that recoil control or bullet velocity con. You're not going to notice it in multiplayer. It's not something we really got to worry about. We're going to go up in here, run the 16.5 MCW Cyclone long barrel. So a massive increase to our overall bullet velocity and range, along with aiming idle sway and firing aiming stability. So you really can't complain about that. I mean, we don't care about those cons too much because we're trying to make this thing super effective at a little bit longer ranges. Now we're gonna go back here, run pretty much what we're gonna run is the MK.23 reflector, which you guys can switch out for the slate reflector if you really want to, or pretty much any of these other sights in here, minus like some of these crazy ones. Like we don't ever need a 4x magnification on an assault rifle. It is not necessary or beneficial. We're gonna go down here, run the 40 round mag, though you could definitely get away with running like a 60 round mag just because that health increase. And if you're gonna be taking out a lot of people, like if you're playing something like Rust, for instance, and you can try to sit up top, this could be a pretty good option, maybe as opposed to the 40, but 40 or 60, you can kind of get away with either or right now. And now we're going to go back for our last attachment and run the Tempest 890 Strike stock, aim walking speed, movement speed, aiming stability, and of course sprint speed. Fantastic to be able to run on this gun. I absolutely love it, and this is my full build here for the MCW. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on. Check out this other video on screen. I'll see you guys all next time.